New Year's Day is not January 1st, and it's impossible for it to be in March in the springtime. We need to know the difference between the Gregorian New Year, which is fake, the springtime New Year theory that's regurgitated by all the black intellects but is also fake as hell, and then the natural New Year's that's actually based on the cycles of the stars. This is a picture of the spring equinox in March, but why does it look like it's fall in September or something? That's because we forget that spring in the northern hemisphere is the fall in the southern hemisphere. The summer in the northern hemisphere is the winter in the southern hemisphere. So we cannot determine the New Year's based upon seasons because seasons change depending on your region. And the concept of the New Year is a global concept that impacts every single person on earth regardless of where you live at. So the original and natural way we used to determine what an actual year was is by identifying the actual cycle of the Sirius star. A star has not reached its cycle until it actually rises from the horizon at the same exact point. So if it rises 1 inch to the right or 1 inch to the left, that's not a cycle. The law of cycle is that as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end, right? The beginning and the end point is the same point. So with the Sirius star, we're looking at two particular cycles. The first cycle is actually an alignment between the Earth, the Sun, and the Sirius star, which happens every 1,460 plus 1 year. During that time, the Sirius star is actually eclipsed by the sun, so you can't see it. That eclipse or alignment is called the heliacal rising, and it coincides with energetic disturbances and certain cataclysms on Earth, and it's also called the Great Year or the God Year. Now, the real year associated with the Sirius star is actually 1,460 plus 1 days, which is broken down into 4 years. 3 years of 365 days and 1 year of 366. That's because it takes 4 years for the Sirius star to rise from the horizon at the same exact location. Now, the westernized, colonialized, modern-day people's year is actually based on the seasonal cycle, which changes depending on where you're at on Earth and is inconsistent and has nothing to do with anything else going on in the universe. This is why we're mistaking every time we say, oh, the New Year's is the springtime. Well, what about the people in the southern hemisphere? They say, hey, yeah, I know y'all springtime up there, but it's kind of cold down here. We don't see no spring down here, bruh. So it ain't no New Year down here. So a New Year has to be a New Year for everybody, not just people who live in one specific region. It doesn't work like that. Now, the oldest calendar on Earth is the sidereal calendar. It's the one that was used by our ancient Egyptian ancestors. And you can see a stone version of that calendar in the Temple of Dendera. A sidereal calendar means that it's a calendar based upon star. And that star is the Sirius star. And it's because our ancestors always knew for thousands and millions and trillions and zillions of years that the Sirius star is the center of the universe. So a true year is not based upon the Earth's rotation around the sun. It's actually based on the Earth and the sun's rotation around the Sirius star. So listen carefully. The fact that the oldest calendar on the planet charts the 1,460-year cycle of the Sirius star back in a time when people wasn't really supposed to be knowing how to write and read, much less observe star cycles over millenniums and record that information in order to pass it down back in a time when people weren't writing, It shows you that we are the guys that they speak about who were living for thousands of years. Yes, absolutely, in the Manetho's Kings list, or in the secrets of the Botswana, or in the secret Nazarite scroll, Read my book, The Great Investigation. It's for free. Stop listening to white folks like Pope Gregory, who woke up one day and said, hey, today should be January 1st. It's a new year, based on no celestial or environmental factors. So the star cycles tell us that the natural New Year's Day is September 11th. I must advise that we no longer remember 9/11, the Twin Towers. Forget the Twin Towers on 9/11. If we're going to remember the Twin Towers, I recommend we do that on January 1st. On September 11th, it's imperative that we celebrate, are happy, and let nothing stop our joy and celebration. That's because the Luciferians who knocked down the Twin Towers knew exactly what day that was, and they know that things tend to end off the way that things begin. So if you start off on the wrong foot, you're likely to end off on the wrong foot. So why would we start our real natural New Year's with a depressed, sad remembrance of U.S. government terrorism on its own citizens. So instead, I'm calling on all major party promoters, all concert, event, parade promoters, and organizers to remember the Twin Towers on January 1st, and on September 11th, let's party. I want somebody in every major city to organize a New Year's Sage parade, or just a New Year's Sage celebration somewhere at an outdoor venue. Thousands of people burning sage for the new year. Oh yeah, let's talk about it. What is a sage? A sage is a wise person. So what are we symbolically saying when we're burning sage on the natural New Year's Day, September 11th? We're saying to the Illuminati Luciferians that we're wise people now. You can't fool us. We're not going to be sad on September 11th no more. If anything, we're going to remember the Twin Towers on January 1st, and we're going to celebrate like a mother sucker on September 11th. Don't let nothing stop the joy on 9/11. Peace. Divine unity. Salekana.